Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hands up if you know that song. To Babbling Brook. I'm your host, Babalwa Brook. In today's episode, we will be talking about acclimatizing myself with life here in the desert. I hadn't decided yet when I moved to this area what I was going to do with regards to work. I still could pursue tracking, but I don't know where with whom, considering we're in the woods here. And so I decided while I'm busy doing home renovations, and of course we touch a little bit on a couple of home renovation stories too during the episode, I was like, why don't I reopen my eBay store? I had been dabbling on and off throughout the years. I also tell you where I get that selling gene from. And it's something that we've done throughout our lives, really, come to think of it. There's more to those stories. A lot of them are very humbling, I have to tell you. When you are sitting on the side of the street with dust all over your face, hungry as hell, all you have is a couple of bread buns and maybe some water and maybe a pineapple, because pineapples were from an area close to where we were, so they were very cheap. It actually put me off pineapples because that would be our main thing to eat. For decades, I didn't eat pineapple. I just couldn't even. I laugh because I would rather laugh than cry right now. So, you're sitting there, you're all dusty, and then a handsome boy from your class, 10 hours away where you go to boarding school, walks past and sees you. And you're like, oh, snap, bury me now. But he is kind and humble and says, hi, how are you? And then you see him again at different times over the years. And it just shows you that everybody is not highfalutin. I don't even know if that word fits in here. But you know what I mean? Because throughout my life, way later on, I've been in scenarios where what I do for work at that particular time is not good enough for a friend or whatever. And they're the ones that are embarrassed. Like, dude, first of all, my bills are paid. Knock on wood. My bills always stay paid, dude. It's also character building to lead a life like that. As of where I stand, I can only say thank you, because I could have turned out worse. We could have been doing worse things, and we always had a roof over our head. So thank you, Lord. And thank you, parents, and thank you, stars. Speaking of Bury Me Now, I also talk a little bit about a show that I was watching called Two Shallow Graves. So we'll do a bit of a recap there. The eBay store that I started with is the lovely Brook. It's my main store, but I do have a runner-up, my Brook, and two others, Trucker Brook and the Brook. I actually just finished working now, and I'm getting ready to go for my afternoon walk as soon as I post this episode. I'm posting them fast, back to back, if you're following at this present time, because I don't know what's going to happen in the future and who's going to find the show and whatever. But there are some people who are already playing and listening, and I appreciate you guys. Nothing goes unnoticed. The reason that I'm putting them up back to back, this is the 5th episode in 4 days. So basically, today being February 4th, I posted starting from February 1st. It was coincidental that it started at the beginning of the month. But I'm trying to catch everybody up and also catch myself up so I can post more recent stuff. We talk a little bit about Shazam, the show, and the app, and my experience with it and my connection to it. And just a sidebar, Google, I believe it's Google Lens, the Google app that you use to take photos and search via photo. It hasn't done well, by the way, for me whenever I'm looking up people, when you used to do reverse search or image search, kind of like catfishing. That's not, I'm not doing well looking for people there, but other things, yes. Anyway, on there, it's kind of competing with Shazam. And sorry, Shazam. This episode is not sponsored by Shazam, obviously. There's a part there where you click on the song. And if you want to look up, welcome back, you can sing it or whistle it. This is an idea that I had. Oh my God, I'm laughing now because I didn't even think I was going to be saying this. I used to think, but what if you don't know, you just know the beat of the song or the rhythm or you can hum it. I wish there could be a way. There's got to be. All those years later, I'm sure I'm not the first person or the only person who's thought of that. Clearly, because somebody's making gazillions of dollars with that idea now. They didn't take it from me, trust. The Facebook group, if you'd like to join us for the podcast, is Babbling Brook Podcast. And so that's also our name on Instagram. Blog is babalawabrook.com and youtube.com/babalawabrook. I appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Bye. Hey everyone, it's May 26th, 2022. The time right now is 19:44. That means 16 minutes before the hour of 8 in the evening. It's a Thursday. Did I already say that? I am at home in bed. When I got on the bed, it was so freaking hot. That's how hot it is nowadays in these parts. I live in the California desert. My name is Babaloa Brook, and welcome to yet another episode of my podcast. I wanted to just talk to somebody because I haven't talked to anyone in possibly all week. Maybe I talked to people yesterday. I already come across as a liar. If you're new here, please stick around. And I'm telling you, you're gonna love me. Just kidding. Not really. But don't leave, please. I need you. I went somewhere to pick up something yesterday, and I waited in line for possibly 10 to 15 minutes. And that's where I talked to people. It was just an exchange of words with a couple of strangers in line. It is usually the only way I get to interact with people in person, by talking to strangers, because I have no friends and I'm not trying to make any in person. I'm only comfortable just like with the conversations that I have with people not in person. And I think that the more I do that, the longer I do that, the more uncomfortable I become in real life relationships. Possibly a bit concerning, I think. I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about the fact that I'm not concerned about it. Today was a little busy in these parts. I reopened up my online store. I used to sell mainly clothing, but clothes, male and female for the most part. But the few that I had left of male clothing are quickly selling out. And I have female, lots of female clothing, possibly more than 1,000 items. I've recently counted. I counted yesterday, and I had around 100 listed items, but I sell every day, thank God. I say all this to say, recently started reselling. I used to have an eBay store, nothing major. I would just sell, I want to say I would just sell whatever I had that I didn't want anymore. When I started my weight loss journey, I had a lot of clothes to sell because all the clothes that I had wouldn't fit me. Thank God. And then when I would go on to the next 2-3 sizes, because, one size you can still wear your clothes. Again, thank goodness, because right now I'm up by a dress size and I'm able to fit into most of my clothes. This is on the other side of the spectrum. So around the time of losing a lot of weight, I had a lot of clothes to sell. And I would go and buy cheap clothing and go to thrift stores and wherever I could find just bargains in clothing. Because, you're just like a baby who was born. You have zero clothes. So you're starting from scratch. And I would then just buy whatever else I'm finding that I think that people would like. And that's my real, I want to say real, because in the beginning I would just sell whatever. But around that time, I started really just applying myself. I was also doing background acting at the time. So I would go to, if I booked like a commercial to be in the background or whatever, I would be in the background. I did a lot of audience work as well. If you've heard of the bottom of the barrel in the entertainment industry, it's not even considered being in the entertainment industry. But if you've heard of the bottom of the barrel, audience is the bottom of the bottom of the barrel. Quote, unquote, well, not quote, I'm quoting myself. But, apparently that's what's up. And that's just like the way that they treat us for the most part. You're inclined to believe, is that the word? That's how they feel. That's not how I felt, because I paid my freaking bills. I'm not somebody who has big bills really in life because I tread lightly. I'd rather save my money. So when I went on the road to become a truck driver and I lived in my truck full time, meaning even on my days off, I was still in the truck. No matter I had 3-4 days off, I was in the freaking truck. I was living in it. It was my zip code. It was my address. Not really. You couldn't mail me a letter to the truck, obviously. That's when I put a pause in my store. And then when I came back, I didn't, my stuff was in storage for more than a year. But now that I'm here in this life and I'm living here at my place that I'm also fixing up myself, there's so many things that need to be done. So recently I was like, okay, let's set up the store again. I'm available. I have a lot of things that I plan to do. I don't like to tell people my plans until I've put them into action. One of the things was to reopen my store because I do enjoy that. My mom sells clothes and she's been a hawker, Hawker, or a street vendor, all her life, all our lives. Well, not all her life, but all our lives. And so it's probably like in the genes. She and I have a lot in common. We're pretty much like, we're very similar, which can be a good thing or not a good thing, as you may know, with, people that you're similar to. That can draw you towards each other or can repel you from each other. So it's one of the things that I like to do. And I recently have started, like I said, to sell. So I opened up my eBay store again. I was at 100 plus reviews. I think they all were 5 stars. So that was nice. Always nice, right? And I heard about Facebook Marketplace, not recently. When I was in South Africa in 2018, I did dabble. I did receive a few messages when I was there of people who showed interest, but nobody actually came followed through. So I hate to say it, but some of the things that I was trying to sell in South Africa in 2018, it's 2022 now, so 4 years ago, are still here. I'm still trying to sell them. Not because I've been struggling to find a buyer. It's just that a lot happened since I came back from South Africa, and then I went on the road for a few years, like I said. So I opened up my store again on eBay, and I realized nobody's even viewing half these things, and they're priced to go. Literally, like, you're paying for shipping, you're paying for the deductions, all these monies that you pay for because you're using somebody else's app. Literally, I need my own, why did I say literally? I need my own app where I can do whatever the F I want to do, because people really just like do whatever they want with you just because you're using their services. I mean, if you're going on Spotify and you want to just hear one song that you Shazammed somewhere, Shazam, for those who may not know, is an amazing app that if you hear a song and you're like, wow, that's a great song, or I like that song, but I don't know what the title is so I can download it or whatever, then you click on Shazam, it listens to the song, and it'll tell you who sings it and what song it is. It also will tell you how many other people have Shazammed it and all that stuff. You know, they keep updating these apps, but mainly that's what it does. You may have heard of the show Beat Shazam. Basically, it's the same deal. It's hosted by Jamie Foxx. I've done audience there more than once, and we talked to Jamie, cool guy. Story for another day. But Beat Shazam, basically, I think, man, this was so long ago. That show, I think, is on season 5 now. You listen to the song and you buzz, and then you tell them what the song is. Basically, just like Shazam does. So I was just saying, like, if you're listening, if you Shazam a song and you're like, oh, let me go and check it out on Spotify. You go on Spotify wants to play you 30-second ads back to back that are like 3. You can't skip them. You have to listen. You just wanted to hear a song that maybe is 2 minutes to 20 seconds long. Now you got to listen to 1 minute of commercials. Are you joking? Then you're like, forget it. Like, I can't even. Let me just go to YouTube. When you go to YouTube, they're like, oh, do you want to subscribe to YouTube Red? You want to change your password? How about double verification? Put your fingerprint in here. That password is too easy. How about, and it's just like, oh my God. Am I alone in this? I feel like you're just personally, I'm finding myself like spinning around. Whenever I want to look up something or quickly do something on the internet, that's no longer an option now. Everybody's selling ads left, right, and center. I'm like, I need to get into this app business so I can, if anything, do my own app that's going to do everything. Literally. Why do I say literally? Seriously, though. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing. My goal has been to list a certain number of items per day. I'm using body parts that I haven't used in a long time. Like when I was driving, when I started that, I was using parts of my body that I wasn't accustomed to using for the amount of time I was using them for. Then I built up stamina and I got used to it. Then I went into something else, and when I did that, it was just like, whoa. And now that I'm fixing up the house, I'm using body parts. Like yesterday, I painted a wall. My plan was just like, let's see how many, like, I thought that it was even possible to paint a room in one day. What do I know? I was like, okay, let me go and paint. When I get there, I was like, oh my God, what do I need? Okay, I need to put this there, I need to do this, I need to blah, blah, blah. So I painted just one wall yesterday. And even that, parts of me were like, just stop. And I thought, no, you're almost there. Just finish. You'll be so proud once you finish. So I had to like pep talk myself into finishing it. And I did, and I was so proud. And I was like, oh my gosh. Then I came back and I listed more stuff. I'd done enough listings that it would have been enough, but I try to push myself. Sometimes I push myself even further than I probably should. I'm sure I'm not alone in that. But usually I feel better afterwards, emotionally, but physically, no. And sometimes physically I pay for it the following day, where you're not as productive the following day because you wore yourself out the previous day, right? Who else does that? Who else is that way inclined? Let me know. Find me somewhere and let me know. I'm going to try and do like a group page or something to that effect, where we can hang out and chill and talk and podcast and chat, whatever. What's it called? Podcast and chill. Stuff like that. So, yeah, that's what has been going on this end. The temperatures have been around 100 degrees consistently. And I find it very interesting that the hottest time of the day that I've noticed is around now, like around 7. Seriously, 7 in the evening. Not noon, 7 in the evening. Because today I didn't turn on the AC and noticed around, I think it was around 9, 10 in the morning, it was already just before 90 degrees. I thought, whoa. I mean, it's not even noon yet, are you joking? And then it just kept keeping on there, of course. I was surprised because I thought at some point I was going to turn on the cooler, but nope. It was bearable up until it wasn't, around 6, 7, which was so bizarre. I opened up like the doors, some of my windows. I won't even get into that. Maybe I'll tell that story in the blog. My blog being babalabrook.com. So that's another avenue that I do tend to journal on. Today I finished early listing. My hands are hurting because now I'm using my fingers a lot, no pun intended. And I'm using, I'm on like the phone, taking pictures. I think to myself, should I charge my phone, my camera? I have a Sony camera that I invested in a long time ago. Probably a bit outdated now, but it was an investment when I bought it at the time. Take photos and then plug it into the computer and do the listings on there. And then I was like, I don't know, because I feel like a lot of these websites push you to using apps. So if you have a way to use an app and you're moving backwards in time by not using an app and instead using a laptop, I don't know. Like, who else uses like Facebook Marketplace or eBay, Mercari? What's that one? Mercari, Mercy? I don't know. Poshmark, all these B2Bs, I don't know. All these apps. Who else is on those things? Doesn't everybody use a cell phone? I don't know. I feel like some people, when I read their descriptions and how intense and extensive they are, I'm like, there's no way this person typed this with 2 fingers on a cell phone. Sometimes I try to talk my description, but between my accent and other things, like if I say 100% cotton and my phone types 100% in like words, and I'm like, no, like that's just too many words. People nowadays don't have an attention span as it is, and you want them to read words such as 100% cotton. Put 100% sign and cotton. Are you joking? So, and then I said extra large. I guess I should have said 100 myself. And then like extra large, and it typed extra, LARGE. And I thought, nah, this is not going to be the thing. Of course, with time, I'm going to be more accustomed, and I'll have like my own system with time, because I only started selling again a few weeks ago, just listing and nothing was happening. But a week ago, almost exactly a week ago, I ended up with a bunch of clothes. And that's when I really, every day would schedule myself and put aside like a few hours take a break, a few more hours, solid as if it's like going to the office. It is going to the office. It turned my living room into an office and my office into an office, because that's where my office is, where I do obviously printing and shipping and wrapping up stuff and whatever. I love being in the office for that reason. I do have to put a ceiling fan there, but I do like to go to the office because if I'm there working on the clothing store, it means I made some money. It means somebody bought something, right? So the labor-intensive part is the selling the stuff. Isn't it always? That's the part. Taking the photos, finding the lighting, and moving around with the light in the house, and all that. Maybe I'll do like a YouTube video one day. I don't guarantee you. Probably not. It's probably done to death. But who cares? Do whatever the bleep I want. So if I want to do it, I'll do it too. Shoot. So what if 2 people end up viewing it, or 5, or maybe 500, whatever. But we shall see. That's not really in the cards. If I feel like doing it one day, maybe I will. I wanted to do another wall today, painted, but since this week started and I've been just listing, like I'll list 12 or more items back to back. And one item sometimes will take 4 minutes, some will take 5, 10, 15. Sometimes never heard of a brand name, you're going to look it up, find out like the price point, and some of these things are not new, so a lot of them are not, and all that stuff. So yeah, you know my name. If you're interested in checking out the store, some of my stuff is on eBay, but everything is in my commercial profile. I'll see if I can put in the show notes just the link to my Facebook commerce profile. Is that what it's called? My Facebook marketplace. Oh my God, the heat is incredible. Right now I have the window wide open. Luckily no bugs are coming in, knock on wood. It's kind of windy outside, so the wind feels really good, but you're blowing wind into an oven. You know what I mean? So it's gonna take a lot more to balance out the temperatures. I have my ceiling fan on since a month ago, and I have the one window in my bedroom open, so it does feel nice. But I mean, you can't be naked because my next door neighbor may be able to see inside, because I opened everything in the window and the curtains and everything. I want all the air inside. No pun intended. So, yeah, I don't want to just ramble. I hope I didn't lose everybody. I just wanted to take off. I'm taking off these clothes. I don't care. Oh. If I cannot see outside, they shouldn't be able to... Oh, shoot. No. If I can't see outside, they shouldn't be able to see inside. Unless I'm hiding my eyes, then, they'll still see. Quickly before I let you go, I've been watching this show called 2 Shallow Graves. Have you seen it? Tell me, somebody, if you've seen it as well. I'm a big fan of true crime shows. I'm really more interested not in the crime aspect, but in the minds of the people who commit these crimes. Because personally, I think that when it comes to things like murder, it'll be sometimes somebody who has never committed a crime, and all of a sudden they kill somebody and they spend the rest of their lives, or they get sentenced to death and do actually end up being killed. And, well, I guess, I don't know. And I think that, who doesn't have that potential within themselves? Yeah, probably you listening don't have it. I know. But that's my thought process. But also at the same time, I think, who are these people for whom solving a problem is killing somebody? What kind of thinking goes behind that? That's your problem solving. technique, killing somebody. It depends on case, like case by case. This story you may be familiar with if you're somebody who likes crime stories. It's the story of the family of 4 who went missing. At some point, they show cameras of people crossing the border. And they like zoom in on this group of people and they say, that looks like them crossing the border to Mexico from, California. And then their bodies were found in the desert here in California still. So a friend of theirs, or business partner, was accused of killing them. This is a story from, it's not like as old as the 80s or 90s, but it's like old enough because I know for a fact that I've at least seen 2 tellings of that story on different shows. I don't know if tellings is a real word. And somebody decided to do a whole series because that's what everyone's doing now. Everyone is doing a whole series of shows that we've already watched in 42-minute docu-series. And it's just like, come on, we already know the whole story. Like, spoiler alert, now I gotta watch 6 episodes of this. I watched it and man, it's been a while since I've come across, if I've ever, a group of the most narcissistic vibe-giving people. It's just the biggest group of narcissistic tendency people. The defense attorney is coming across a narcissist, filming this documentary in the middle of this hearing thing, kind of like Making a Murderer or whatever. I don't know, I've never seen the show. Because I had seen the episodes several times on different shows. I was like, I'm not watching a whole series of this when I've already... Anywho, in this particular 2 Shallow Graves show, the defense attorney, Raj something, oh my God, at some point he goes to his Botox person to get fillers. Can you imagine? And then at some point he's working out in the gym. I was like, man, this is going to be an unlikable person. Just from the parts of his life that they're showing, he most probably, of course they're going to edit it in such a way, to do a narrative. But the fact that he feels like this will be interesting, well, maybe he didn't think that actually. Maybe they said to him, go to the gym, we're going to film you. Meanwhile, they're setting him up to make him hated by people. Nah, this guy's just not a very likable guy. At first, when I go into a show, I go in there wanting to like everybody. It's just like innocent until proven guilty. This freaking guy, just like working out, on camera. Like somebody is about to get a death sentence, you're out here working out. Of course you should work out because you have to lead a balanced life. You're not the accused. But it's just like, ugh. And now you're going to go and get fillers? Really, dude? Not fillers, but like Botox. Sometimes he's talking to the defendant and he just is coming across as if he's just answering to answer, but he's very aware of the camera being around. When you're watching somebody, you can feel that they can feel the camera on them. And now they're hearing themselves speak. He always wants to look good on camera. He wants to look like sexy, like he's doing the eyes. It's just like nauseating. And then his co-defense attorney guy, one time he was sick and he requested like 2 weeks off, not just for him, but a pause on the whole justice system of this case. Everybody who's affected needs to go on pause because he wants to take sick leave. I'm not sure if it was 2 weeks, but I believe it was. And everyone's like, no, we all saw you a couple of days ago, not sick, dancing at a wedding and just fine. And they do an interview with him on the side about that. And he's just like crying with one eye, just like a true sociopath. This is not even the working out guy. This is his partner. And it's just like weird in his own aspect. These people are giving off more narcissistic vibes, sociopathic vibes, than the guy who's accused of killing 4 people, 2 of which were children. Tell you what. And so the guy, spoiler alert, ended up being sentenced to, wait for it, 1 life without parole. Okay? So he's sentenced to life. And 3 deaths. What is he supposed to die 3 times and then come back and live forever without parole? I was like, what? I mean, I kind of get it. But at the same time, it's like, okay, all right. But yeah, that case is just like annoying. But there was nothing else to watch on TV. So I just freaking binge watched like several episodes yesterday, and I binged the rest of them today. Because it's easier to work when you're listening to a documentary versus like watching a trash reality show. Because not that this documentary wasn't trash, but when you're watching a trash like reality show, they're designed in such a way that you want to watch it. You don't want to miss anything because they do the faces and the hands and the whatever. You know what I mean? You want to watch that. But if you're working, you will be distracted. You'll move very slowly if you're trying to listen and watch a reality show at the same time. But a documentary is easy. You can just listen to it. You don't have to watch. Also, this one is advisable that you don't watch because these people will annoy the hell out of you. I'm interested to hear your take if you have, for those of you who have watched this Too Shallow Grave show. I've done, I think, I thought I went up to episode 6, and I thought that, because normally they go up to 6, and he's already been sentenced. But at the end of it, they were like, also, we received a text from this guy. And I was like, what? So I guess next episode, which means I don't know how many episodes they're doing, because next will be episode 7. All right, this probably went on longer than I had anticipated. Not too bad, 32 minutes. Let me get out of here. Find me on all social media and please give me a follow. And I would appreciate a subscribe to not only my podcast, but to my YouTube channel. I've had the channel for a while now, and it would be nice to start really feeling the feels that what I'm putting out there, somebody is picking up. Feel me? At Babala Brook, everywhere. And thank you for hanging out. Do find me, and let's talk some more. Let's keep the conversation going, and let me know what other topics, what is on your mind, what would you like to talk about, what would you like to discuss. Maybe I'll work out a system where I can call someone, or you can call me, and we can all talk and record it, and everybody, I want to build some kind of a community where we can talk about things that are of interest to us, and I want nothing to be off limits. Of course, everybody gets offended easily, not everybody, but a lot of people, because that's what's going on now in 2022, but you understand what I'm saying. You don't want to intentionally hurt people for no reason in the process of having your fun. But I would like us to indulge each other and talk about stuff like that, thus building each other up, especially like with regards to like emotional type support. Not like in a depressing, dark type way, but in like a friendly community type deal. www.babalabrook is my blog, and I will talk to you next time.